Okay.
All right, the hen house is a separate operation. You had a house out here. We had two sections in the hen house. You had one section which had up off the ground about 4 foot. You had about cubicles of a 12-inch square with straw in it. You had probably 24 of those or more, and you had a little ramp going up to these. I don't know why they put them off the ground unless they're afraid the possums would get to the eggs.
Yeah,
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
See, possum come in and steal the eggs. So the hens had to go up this ramp and get in their nest and lay their eggs.
And the same hen would use the same nest all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. And every afternoon, see, the hens usually lay at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a regular basis. And then we'd go out every afternoon. That's part of our chores, is gathering the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go out, gather all the eggs. A lot of times we'd have an artificial egg we'd leave in there. We call that a nest egg.
Mm-hmm.
And we leave it in there, and the old chicken was kind of dumb, and they thought, oh, that's one I laid yesterday. And so she gets back in there and lays another egg beside the nest egg. Mm-hmm. And then the other part of the chicken house was what's called the roosting part. Every night, all the chickens, they don't go into the laying area. They go in, for the night, they all go into the roosting area, which is some poles about 4 foot off the ground, and they all sleep on these poles.
Oh.
And they mess on the ground.
Did
They
you
poop
have
on the
to
ground.
did you have to go in every night and get them over there, or did they just do it themselves?
They do it themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And about every 3 or 4 months we go in there and scoop up the poop. And that's what we used in the garden.
Chicken manure.
Chicken manure.
That was great manure.
Great manure. We'd use that to put on our tomatoes and potatoes and everything, and that was what made the garden good.
And honey?
But they'd go in the roosting area every night. They would not go into the laying area, doors all open. But they'd know to go into the roosting area every night
To go to bed.
to sleep. And they all slept side by side on this wooden rail in there.
Well, I never knew that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yes.
poop on the ground. And it kept it clean that way.
Well, now, who had the bigger hen house? Grandma or Grandpa?
Well, I had about the same size hen house.
So about how many hens?
Oh, probably 100. See, this is where we get the fried chicken in the summertime. Of course, we let a lot of the chickens lay probably 10 or 15, 20 eggs and let them set on them and hatch them. And then they'd mother them around, and of course we have to go out every night, every afternoon, and feed them ground corn or something, And then when the little baby chickens come up, that's where we got our fried chicken from. Mm-hmm. Mom would go out there with a wire about 3 or 4 foot long with a hook on it. And she'd throw some feed out there, and she said, oh, that one right there looks like he's ready for the skillet. She'd reach out there with that wire and hook him on the leg. And after Mama hooked the chicken with one leg, we brought him in. We had a chopping block there, especially, with an axe. And we'd cut the poor chicken's head off and let him bleed. And then Mama had a pot of water, tub of water out there in the backyard with a fire under it. And she'd duck that chicken for so many seconds and pull him out, and then the feathers come right off from him. Mm-hmm. And then she'd take that fresh chicken in the house and cut him up,
Oh,
and that was dinner.
She had the best fried chicken.
Oh yeah. That was our dinner right there.
Right. And Grandma, you're saying you take the eggs to the grocery store?
Take the eggs to the grocery store.
We have excess eggs, take to the grocery store and sell them, and that was where we buy our sugar and flour and stuff, you know. To
Maybe a loaf of
country
bread.
store, yeah.
Did you make bread yourself, or did you always buy it from the store?
Most time bought it.
No, Mother made biscuits all the
Yeah,
time.
Leah made biscuits, you know.
All the time.
Yeah, Mama made biscuits too.
Yeah.
Yeah.